Chemo shake. We're gonna get into some content today. Hey, I'm gonna run that back. I love Chemo Shake. I love player partner, man, from up off the island side, man. Rest in peace to his uncle Weasel Low, cuz on crib. Oh, don't it? Oh, that sound like Chemo, don't it? We're gonna get into some content, just What's up, Edie? Much love, big homie. Infinities. I'm like, infinities. This that shit that make you want to go jump out Regals, don't it? Hey, listen, man, let's get into some content. As some of you may know, Los Angeles City, and I believe the county as well. I believe the Board of Supervisors covers all of Los Angeles County. Yeah, they do. A historic deal settlement has been made in Los Angeles to compensate those who were in juvenile correctional facilities under the care and the control of Los Angeles County Probation, as well as individuals who were in McLaren Hall. They just reached a $4 billion settlement, right? But the thing is, with a historical settlement like this, where's the money gonna come from? Where's the money gonna come from? And number two, what negative effect would it have on the economy of the individuals from Los Angeles? We're gonna get into some content. You feel what I'm saying? Let me run these clips, share my screen and all this, man. And I want to hear from y'all, man, because this can be something that's very this can be something that's very concerning for individuals in Los Angeles and Los Angeles County. Here we go right here. We gonna go into this, a little clippy clip.
LA County has reached a historic $4 billion agreement to settle more than 6,800 sexual abuse cases. Most of the cases, which date back decades, involve allegations of abuse in juvenile facilities and foster homes across the county. If approved, the agreement would be the costliest financial settlement in LA County history. It still needs to be approved by both the County Claims Board and county supervisors.
Okay, in case y'all don't know, yesterday, the County Claims Board, as well as the Board of Supervisors, all agreed that this money has to be paid out. I was reading an article to where the Los Angeles Board of Supervisors, or the Boards of Supervisors of Los Angeles County, is saying that they're going to need 2 to 3 years to make all of the payouts. So it's going to take, according to them, in an article that I read, it's going to take in between 2 to 3 years to pay these individuals who are part of this this settlement. It don't take 2 or 3 years to get increases for the Los Angeles Police Department. It doesn't take 2 or 3 years to get an increase in the budget for the Los Angeles County Sheriffs. The Los Angeles Police Department annual budget is a whopping. Are you ready for this? Hold on, let's let it load. Hold on, somebody calling me. Hold on, 1 minute. Uno momento. Hey, my apologies. Let's get back focused. Hey, man, listen. It's a lot of big blessings that's coming my way. And just real briefly, let's take a pause from that, man. I shared this post, and this is from the heart, man, and I hope that it resonates with somebody. But I recently just shared this post right here, man, and it says, because so many opportunities is coming my way, and it's like, damn, do I take advantage and seize this opportunity, which the money is good, but the mission and the people's involved in executing the mission is kind of questionable. Yahweh, please reveal it to me. Am I the changing factor that can get in there and execute change that the community can see? Another opportunity, decent money. I'm talking about decent money, but the only thing, it takes me back to old stumping grounds. I'll be around old relationships, and I gotta ask myself, am I strong enough for that right now? Have I conquered my triggers to where when certain things that I disapprove of happens, transpire, and plays out before me, do I have the strength to say, yay, you cannot react like that? Should I pack up everything and move clear across the country? You feel what I'm saying? Am I ready to commit to that right now? You feel what I'm saying? So a lot of amazing opportunities is before me. So I said, no, this ain't the one. Oh, hell no. Don't tell me I posted the same motherfucking thing twice. But I got it right here. Sometimes you have to step out on faith and understand that you are highly favored and anointed. Hear me out. Don't be afraid of the wicked ways of man and the evil conspiring hearts of the enemy, because you are under divine protection. Now go be great and create change. That's going to resonate with somebody, homie. Somebody that's kind of like in a indecisive state like I am. But getting back to this, man, I don't know why it's going to take so long for these individuals to get their money. 2 to 3 years is crazy. Usually when you approve on a settlement, the process is instantaneous. It never takes more than maybe a week, maybe a month. When my uncle was shot up and he went to Martin Luther King Hospital where he nearly died, my uncle shot like in between 13 to 17 times. He was shot with a shotgun, shot with a 38 and a 9mm. For a lot of you who are from Watts or from Imperial Courts housing projects, you know my Uncle TJ, the walk with the limp. So when he was under the care of Martin Luther King Hospital, when they performed life-saving surgery upon him, they left a pair of scissors inside of him. And I told you, he was shot up in between 13 to 17 times. The reason why they can't exactly pinpoint the number between 13 and 17 is because he was also hit with a 12-gauge shotgun with the 9mm and the 38, right? So when they stitched him up, they left a pair of scissors in him. He had several broken bones and whatnot, so they had to put him in a body cast. But he was complaining to the woman that he was with and to my grandmother and his sister, something don't feel right, like my stomach hurt. And a lot of people was like, well, shit, nigga, you done got shot 13, 17 times, you feel what I'm saying? And he was like, nah, this don't feel right. And it started feeling like this after the surgery, because he had a few surgeries and whatnot that he had to undergo. The last surgery that he had went through, they was operating on him, and I don't know how the scissors got stitched up in him. So he had a pair of scissors in him. So he filed the lawsuit. He sued Martin Luther King. I can't disclose the amount that he received, but in less than 2 weeks, he had his money. A couple other individuals that I know that had big settlements and whatnot, in less than 2 weeks, they had their money. So my thing is, these individuals who suffered in the care of DCFS in Los Angeles County probation, they need their money. I don't give up what you got to do, who you got to talk to get these people their money. Get these people their money. These young individuals was violated in your care. Now you're talking about we're going to prove the money, but we don't know how we're going to get it. And if we do get the money, it's going to take 2 to 3 years to get everybody compensated. Read another article saying that the effects of this $4 billion settlement will be hitting Los Angeles until 2055 or 2056. And that's when they'll be able to rectify the financial impact that it's going to have on the city. But yet the Los Angeles Police Department is getting, how much they getting the LAPD per year? The LAPD is receiving $2.14 billion. How much is the Los Angeles County Sheriff's getting? The Los Angeles County Sheriff's is getting a whopping $4 billion annually. Now let's see how much DCFS is getting. Let's see what's their annual budget. Los Angeles County Department of Children and Family Services, DCFS, has an annual operating budget exceeding $2.8 billion. This budget is used to provide services to children involved in the child welfare system. DCFS is a significant part of the overall LA County budget, which in the range of $45 to $49 billion, depending on the fiscal year. So LA County's budget is $49 billion, and y'all don't understand where y'all gonna take money from? How about we take a Billy from the police? How about we take another Billy from the Los Angeles County Sheriff's? And how about we take another Billy from DCFS? Because all of these organizations and government entities are ineffective in rectifying the situations and plagues that's been existing in our communities. That's 3 Billy right there. And I guarantee you, if I just go through it and all this, I could find another Billy, whether we get 500 million from the sanitation department or the electric company. Like, we can find this money to compensate these people, homie. These people were severely damaged. And they talk about homosexuality, right? We be so quick in the Black community to talk about homosexualities, but a lot of these homosexuals that's in our gangs, a lot of these homosexuals that's in our community, they didn't want to be homosexuals. They were turned out. They were kids in these correctional institutions, in these DCFS foster institutions, and you had an old perverted sick mother that went in there and sodomized them, victimized them. So now they're questioning their manhood. Am I this? Am I that? And we all know that hurt people. So now what they're doing, they're replicating the behavior of their predator. Let's get into some content, homie, because I read a few books, and it was a notorious cat from West Side Hoover, and this is no disrespect to the Hoovers. There was a known butt bandit. He was taking booty. He was a known homosexual. I'm pretty sure y'all all done heard the stories of Purple Passion and Todd Owl. Todd Owl was supposed to be this historical figure that was allegedly from out of Compton. But they say Todd Owl knock you out if he liked you, drag you in a cell, and perform fellatios on you. And when you wake up with a sneaker on your chest. How true that is, I don't know. But these has been stories that I've been hearing since I was a child. They say Purple Passion was was on the same tip. If he like you, he let you know, hey man, I like you, and I want to get into some freaky shit with you. If you declined his invitation to get freaky in the club, they said he knocked you out, pulled you in the cell, but he'll sodomize you, ejaculate all over you, and depart from the cell. And you'll wake up with a blown out, wet, and so asshole. But that type of behavior had to come from somewhere. Let's get to the nitty gritty, man. I got a big homie that kind of like goes into that. You know what I mean? And we gonna get into it. Let's get into some content, cuz. Share this right here. Pull this up so we can better understand why homosexuality and graping, not the grape streets, but you just take the G off of it. You get what I'm saying? Why was homosexuality and graping a big thing in the 1970s and the 1980s? And individuals was going in there and really getting their manhood took from them. Why? Why was these hardcore gang members so inclined to be on some Fleece Johnson type shit? When that's not LA County politics, when that ain't the behavior of a Los Angeles gang member or LA County gang member. Let's get into it, homie. All this shit ties in, cuz. This is my big homie George Bogart, aka Bogey. Amazing brother doing some powerful shit. If you ever heard of the late great Black Al Capone, aka Tony Bogart, this is cuz big brother. Let's get into it.
My name Bogart. I done been a YTS and graduate the YA, come out and do another murder, go back, went to the county.
Y'all gotta check his story out. He talks with a voice box because when he was in prison, he was shot in the neck. The bullet went through I believe a Hispanic guy's head and went through his neck and did irreversible damage. So that's why he talked through a voice box. While in prison, somebody was unalived by the police, and that bullet that went through the individual's head, unaliving him, kept going and it hit Bogart, who was in close proximity to the individual who had just been unalived by the correction officers, and it hit him in his neck. Just a little quick backstory, FYI.
County jail got time served. Man, stop playing. I'm like the $6 million man. So I thought.
And you as a kid, as 13 years old, going through that, did you feel anything? Did you see anything, like as far as like, demons or something going through that?
Oh yeah, man, I saw this gang of demons. Every time I go to juvenile, you had them old homosexual counselors digging all in our ass. They got a lawsuit now going on the juvenile McLaren all in on it. Man, they raped us in jail, man. That's like leading the motherfucking sheep to the slaughterhouse. All the fox were watching over the chicken coop. They sent us in there to them demons, grown demons, doing all sex, raping us, and all this in LP, juvenile, McLean, all. They got a lawsuit right now for every juvenile that went through what I went through. So automatically we gonna come out with animosity, we gonna come out with vindictiveness, and we gonna have murder on our mind because we just got molested in county in juvenile East Lake, LP, McLaren, all Scott's Gutter. Man, that was just like it was like a underground for pedophiles and pedophilia, and they all had authority, they all had badges. So when they come and try to pick one of us out in the middle of the night, talking about we going to the gym, wait a minute, it's at 11 o'clock, and we going to, what are we going to the gym about? Or if you don't go, you going to the hole, you going down the county jail center, we gonna lock you up. All right, then all the time you walking into a trap. They raping you in juvenile, going all abuse, sodomizing you and all that.
That's
and you
fucking
can't
crazy.
tell nobody, you know why? Well, ask yourself, you know, you ain't, I mean, even a 6-year-old can understand that. And then they let you out in society, you know, when they let you out of LP, juvenile home, playing all, after you done got raped by a CO, you know your mindset. Nigga, I want to kill everything with a badge. Y'all done raped me, y'all done sodomized me as a baby.
Sorry that happened to you,
Amen. There I go. I don't want to go there. I'm talking about solutions, not problem.
That's right.
So, if you could survive all that, you are a survivor. And if you could give anything back, give back that knowledge that you got, so it won't happen to nobody else. And
it takes a lot, man, for you to hold your ground and put all that to the side. You know, as a kid growing up, I respect you, man. You know, because you're still trying to
that was
change and trying to
heartfelt.
let these little fools know, hey, this ain't a life. All you little fools out there, man, fucking around, bro.
That was a heartfelt
man,
confession,
change your
cuz.
life. All the fools coming out of prison that, you know, it's time for a change, man.
And you gotta understand, it all starts with the man in the mirror.
That took a lot of courage. That took a lot of courage to come on here and say that you were violated in a fashion that you were violated, especially when we have the stigmatism. If a man does anything sexual to another man, we automatically say he's a homosexual. He got his manhood took, but how could these young boys fight off these grown men? And then they got wise and they start manipulating these youth, right? And I done heard stories from some of these OGs that has the heart to come and speak on it in a fashion that OG Bogart did. And I commend him, man. Salute to you, cuz on PJ. That takes a lot of courage, cuz to come on the internet where things cannot be erased, deleted, where things can be constantly replicated and it's always out there once you upload it to the internet, to come to the internet where millions of people can see this confession. Homie, that takes courage. And for that brother and other brothers to have endured that in an environment, a situation to where individuals are supposed to put you on a path of self-discovery, self-improvement, to take advantage of those babies like that, them kids like that, homie, those survivors need compensation right now. They need to be compensated right now, homie, because of that trauma, that lasting trauma, that PTSD that them individuals that went through. They need their money right now. Fuck all that waiting 2 to 3 years and into 2055 and 56 to rectify, correct, and to find out where you're gonna get the money at. No, fuck that. Pay them right now, homie. Especially a lot of these older cats that had to endure that's in their 60s and pushing almost 70. We don't know how much more time they have. So compensate them, rectify that shit. An individual can experience a traumatic situation and it changes the trajectory of their lives. These dudes could have been scientists, engineers, whatever they chose to. But being that they were sexually abused in a situation in a facility where people are supposed to provide quality care, you should be able to trust these guards. You should be able to trust these correctional officers and these staffs and whatnot. But they violate them. And you wonder why it's hard for certain brothers to commit to relationships because they have an identity crisis. You wonder why some dudes have a thirst for Fleece Johnson type of activities because this individual has been traumatized, has an identity crisis. It's their money, and all of those victims need their money now. I heard stories, right, about staff, and I believe that. And I'm going to tell you why I believe this, right? I heard stories from OGs that talked about what Bogart just talked about, touched upon that subject, right, that topic. And they say that the staff had got wise. So what they'd do, the individuals that they graped, they'd have them to go out and start doing the graping. Then after they have them to go out and start doing the graping, the victims that they raped, they'll go console them, build the rapport, and then they'll finesse them into giving them what was taken from them. Man, that's some sick and twisted psychology, ain't it? So you grooming these kids to be rapists. Then after they go and rape somebody, you come and you pretend to be a person that they can confide within, that they can talk to. And then you, in turn, finesse them in the most finessable way. I don't know if that's a word, but it sounds good. You finesse them in the most consoling way. And all the time, you a wolf in sheep clothing. That's some sick and twisted psychology. But we're quick to condemn, dudes that, that was written in some of those books, most noticeably a guy from Hoover. We're quick to condemn them. Yeah, raping people is wrong. And depending on who you are and what's your virtues and what's your religious beliefs, homosexuality may be wrong to you. But these individuals was forced into this. It's been proven scientifically that the things that we learn to do as a kid be the hardest to do away with as we get grown. So you wonder why these dudes is going to the California Department of Corrections and they raping people. He been doing it since he was 12, 13, 14. He had it done to him. Man, that's a part of his get down. Man, it's a thrill for him. Now this dude is a serial rapist because he was turned out. And a lot of these staff that was raping these kids, $1 million question. What ethnicity, what race do you think they were? I'll wait. So now, getting back to what I was saying, you got this $4 billion settlement. How is this going to affect LA and LA County? Are we going to see a reduction in gang intervention and prevention? Are we going to see a reduction in programs that was created to better serve and assist the youth? Like, because they got to get this money from somewhere. They're not going to take it from the LAPD, which they should, because they've been pushing and talking about budget cuts to these road cops. Where are they going to get the money from? They're not going to take it from the county jail. They're not going to take it from the sheriff's department. They sure ain't going to take it from DCFS. You want me to tell you how I know they ain't going to take it from DCFS? Let's get to it. I'm going to tell you why. I can either read it to you or I can, I'd rather show you. Because I don't want nobody to think Bobby Ye is fabricating these numbers, these statistics, and, just making things up. That ain't my get down, Kim, folks. So I'm going to share it with you. We're going to read it together. Reading Rainbow. I can be anything. Take a look. It's in the book. The Reading Rainbow. Let me stop fucking around. But let's do some reading. All right. Los Angeles County Department of Children and Family Services, DCFS workers represented by the union called SEIU Local 721 are striking over unfair labor practices and a lack of good faith bargaining with the county. The union is citing a 0% cost of living increase in the county's proposal and alleges the county is violating labor law by contracting out work instead of hiring enough staff and increasing wages. Here's a more detailed breakdown. Unfair labor practices. The union claims that the county has been engaging in 44 unfair labor practices for 6 months, including failing to bargain in good faith and retaliating against union members. That lowers the morale. You wonder why you got all these DCFS workers who are not committing to doing their job properly, appropriately. And that's a major disservice to kids. I told you what my kids went through when they were in their care. And I don't want to just demonize DCFS. I learned from Malik Vital, right? That you don't want to just solely demonize entities, people, places, and things, because everything has a bit of good in it, right? So in defense of these individuals that I resent, I understand that they are being overworked. you may have one social worker with upwards to 80 to 100 cases. How could that person realistically dedicate themselves to understanding the dynamics that's going on with these different families and different children when you've been pulled here, you've been pulled there, and your workload is too heavy. And they're not compensating you for the heavy workload. So what that does, that reduces the morale, the workplace morale. But I will tell you this, this is strategically done. They did this right before the day that it was going to be made public that they reached this $4 billion settlement. But here's a more detailed breakdown about their strike. And what does that leave our kids, and how does that affect the parents who are navigating through the DCFS system right now, and the social workers are on strike? There can be no visitation. There can be no supportive services. There can be no court reports written. So this can be to the detriment of the parents. Contracting out. The union is calling on the county to stop contracting out work. Instead, hire more staff and address existing vacancies. Wage increase. I should be working for DCFS. As much as I have learned about their corrupt system, we need reform. You need to hire some of the parents who fought against y'all, got their kids back, and it's a success, and it is a success story. You need to hire some of us to help you get this shit together, because what you're doing right now, it's not going to work. Y'all damaging and destroying families. Wage increase. The union is demanding a wage increase to compensate for the rising cost of living, which the county proposal did not include. Strike. The strike began on Monday, April the 28th at 7 p.m. after the union sent a 10-day notice of their intent to strike. County response. Los Angeles County has stated it disputes the unfair labor practice claims and is committed to constructive negotiations, but also cites budget constraints. Yeah, it's budget constraints because they got to pay out that $4 billion. And they really don't know how they're going to pay out that $4 billion. Pay them people. Pay them people. But you think this $4 billion settlement, you think this is the last of it? No, this ain't the last of LA County about to be sued, litigated. What about parents like myself who kids were made to endure certain traumatic situations? Don't we need justice? What about the parents like myself that was railroad, and they tell you, oh, you have to take a deal. You have to do this. Being misled by these representatives that's appointed by the court that don't inform you of your rights, don't tell you about Henry Melinda S., don't tell you have the right to cross-examine the social workers. They don't tell us none of this. Because once you get that social worker to come down and that social worker states what it states on record, now that's perjury. Punishable by upwards to 5 years incarceration. Now you just took the equilibrium. You just disrupted the balance in this kangaroo court. It's a lot of things that they didn't inform us of. And number one is our rights. The first thing that they come and do and say, well, Mr. Jones, this isn't like criminal court. Just want to start there. Never look you in your eyes. They always averting their eyes. Well, Mr. Jones, unfortunately, this isn't like criminal court. All the judge needs is to believe that this could have happened. And I think it'd be to your benefit, it'd behoove you to enter into some type of deal. And we can get your kids back to you in no time if you take a deal. But I'm innocent. This, that, a third with the woo. Check this out. Look at this. I got this documentation from individuals that was appointed by the court to go out and do investigations. And this is what it says. Well, Mr. Jones, as I was saying, at this point, you're already and you have already been brought to the attention of DCFS. And like I have said, all the judge needs to believe or needs to try to take your kids from you permanently is to know that this could have potentially happened. This isn't like criminal court to where it's beyond. No, that's how they manipulate you. They say the fastest and the most convenient way to get your kids back is by taking a deal. And being that they don't inform us of our rights, we think, damn, I got to take this deal because if I don't take this deal, they're going to adopt my kids out. They don't need hard physical proof. They don't need 80% of proof in DCFS court, in child dependency court. All they need is speculation, hearsay, and they can take your kids. I'm living proof of that. You don't know the hoops and hurdles that I had to jump through to surmount what seems to be the insurmountable. The nights of not being able to sleep, not being able to rise to the occasion, if you know what I mean, and satisfy whatever woman I was with at the time. I lost relationships. I lost jobs. I lost opportunities. I went into a deep depression. I'm battling depression and anxiety because of everything that they put me through. Sometimes can't even get a hard on because I'm so deep in depression, stressing out about my kids. Do you know how it feels to have kids and not be able to access or communicate or reach out to your kids, and you're wondering, damn, I pray that these people are not hurting my kids. I thought everything was cool and hunky-dory and so on and so forth, right? I'm driving, doing work, myself and Michelle Irvin. Shout out to Shelly Young. Shout out to Michelle Irvin. We're helping other people get custody of their kids, but yet you got my kids. I'm working with kids, but yet you got my kids. I'm changing things in the communities that we come from, doing profound work, but yet you got my kids. So one day we driving to go to this radio show, and Michelle started crying, and she said, your kids is under attack. I've been wanting to tell you, but God put it on my heart to tell you now. Something ain't right. Something going on with your kids. I say, no. I was in denial. No, ain't no wrong with my kids. My kids cool. I talked to them. And she said, yeah, they got your kids scared to tell you. So the next time I go on a visit, I had to speak in codes because they monitor the visit and they document everything. What I used to do, my son wanted to be a producer. He wanted to make beats. So I bring my iPad, bring my computer. One of my sons, he'll surf the internet. My daughter will be on my phone, but we'll all be having conversation. But they got us meeting at a McDonald's. It ain't much that these kids can do at this McDonald's. It's not a play place at this McDonald's. So we have meaningful dialogue about school, about staying in prayer, and knowing that God is going to deliver us from this. And then I let one of my sons make beats on the computer. My other son would be looking stuff up because at this point in time, he was somewhat like a nerd. My daughter playing games on my phone, but all the time it's still engagement. They falsified a report and said that I don't talk to my kids. I don't interact with them. I just give them devices and we just sit for the 2-hour visit. Cold motherfuckers. But as I was saying, everything is documented. So you have to be skillful in trying to get certain information from your kids. Start asking my kids questions. Even when they didn't outright answer them, the kinesiology changed. The body language changed, became rigid. Face became, you know what I mean? I can tell something was off. So one of my children, I go on a visit, and a sucker motherfucker, this DCFS worker named Latrell Brown, a homosexual dude that told my son it was okay to be gay because now the world is more accepting of people like them. What the fuck? I don't want my son at that fucking young age to be talking about anything sexual identity, sexual encounters. Only thing sexual that my son at that point in time should have been talking about if somebody sexually violated you. Why introduce my son to this way of thinking to where he thinks it's okay to be a homosexual? Oh, it's okay to be. And my child, I'm not going to go too deep into it right here, right now, right? We're working on a documentary. But my child was asking a question that had nothing to do with sex. And this cocksucker, Latrell Brown, put it in my son's head that he should be a homosexual. This is what DCFS workers is paid to do. But forgive me, I digress. I go on a visit, and this cocksucker tell me, oh, you have to be mindful of giving these devices to, so on and so forth, because so on and so forth is going online and looking up pornographic material. I said, what? He was like, yeah, so it may not be a good decision to give the device to so on and so forth. I say, hold on. Time out. I've never exposed my kids to any type of sexual content, actions, activities, none of that. So how is it that my kid goes into the custody of DCFS and develop a porn addiction? Who introduced him to that? How does he even know how to get on a device and what to search for? Who introduced him to that? See, DCFS does more harm than it does good in the communities where we come from. And that's why we need individuals like myself and like you to get into these positions, homie, and start making changes that's much needed in our community. But without further ado, man, I'm gonna leave y'all with that. I gotta go on to work a little earlier today, man. Y'all still be blessed, man. And let's figure this shit out, man. How is this gonna affect number one says, if it wasn't for Project Fatherhood, I would have been screwed. Salute to them. Salute to Project Fatherhood. I had a different experience with them. Lowdown, what's the dinner though? Peace and blessings to you and yours. My son hates MCDS to this day because of those visits. It ain't just me, Kim, folks. Now we have a meaningful dialogue. This is the shit that we should be dialoguing about, how we collectively come together, no matter what your race, creed, whatever is. How do we come together and make changes in these communities, especially with DCFS, with the Department of LA County, Los Angeles County Department of Probation, raping and molesting kids and shit, turning kids out, altering the course of their lives before they can even understand what life is about and who they are as an individual. We got to stop this shit. Lion Tribe Activewear said, I had to go through that 10 years ago with my babies. It changed my whole life, but thanks to the Most High and my determination, come on, we were able to get our girls back. It's a sick feeling. Man, homie, this is the shit we need to be talking about. This is the content that us as a people need to be putting out there. This is the shit we need to be promoting, homie, because it's affecting a lot of people. I know women that then killed themselves because they couldn't take it. I know parents that gave up and started using controlled substances because they couldn't take these people taking their kids unconstitutionally. I know it's some fucked up parents out there. Those motherfuckers out there in Palmdale that did that to that baby, what was his name? Angel Garcia? You do got those type of parents out there. But you got great parents like myself and these individuals that's in the chat who never deserved to have their kids taken from them. And not only did you unconstitutionally take our kids, you put our kids or my kids in a situation too, they were traumatized. They were abused. They were fucked over, for lack of better words. And we need justice for this shit. We shouldn't have to wait. We need this shit to be rectified. We need this motherfucking system to either be destroyed or reformed because it's fucking people's lives up. No more just sitting by silently and all that shit. No, man, we need answers, cuz we need justice. So this $4 billion that they just awarded to these 6,800 to 7,000 people, that ain't shit for the pain and suffering and the trauma that they experienced. That ain't shit. Because when you compute the numbers, when you add it up, when you do your mathematics and all that, do you know what that equates to? About 600,000 for all 6,800 to 7,000 individuals that's on that case. 600,000. See, a lot of these individuals that's represented on this lawsuit would have been better off obtaining private legal counsel and suing. Then you probably would have got 1.5, 1.6. So if they spread that shit out evenly, right? That equates to about, they calling me. I'll be at work. I'm coming to work. See, one thing about me, you ain't got to tell me to do what it is that I already know I got to do what I do. You don't have to call me and tell me. I had 2 days off. They step on the schedule, I will be at work. Right now, this is me time. Please don't infringe or impose on that. I'm not on the clock. I will be to work. I'm very reliable. I'm very punctual. But getting back to what I was saying, that's about 600,000 a piece. So when you take 600,000 and you multiply by 6,800, you tell me what you come up with. It's going to be a little bit over $4 billion. So realistically, they're not all getting 600,000. They probably get like 575,000, 580,000, maybe even 590,000. And from that 590,000, in between 30 to 50% goes to the legal representation. So you take that and you divide that by what I just said. That don't cover the pain and suffering. That don't cover what these individuals have to endure. That ain't shit. Now, what about the next form of lawsuits that we about to drop on y'all motherfucking ass for raping these babies? Now, still to this day, when you put DCFS, I'm gonna share this with y'all real quick, and I'm gonna get up off this thing, man. Bear with me, man. Meaningful content, cuz. Meaningful dialogue. I should have put the links so some of y'all can jump on, but I didn't whatchamacallit it, hold on. DCFS. I'm just type in DCFS and see what comes up. And all I put in was DCFS. That's it. I didn't tailor it or fabricate it or manipulate it to reflect or corroborate or substantiate what I'm saying. I just put in DCFS. And I'm going to share this with you. Don't take my word. Do the research. That's what I'm big on. Do the research. Demand for change after 9 children was unalived in DCFS care. Girl attacked on video. DCFS investigation. Family for neglect. Victim in protective custody. DCFS director held in contempt of court for violating rights of children. Reports detail DCFS investigation into family of 12-year-old boy who unalived or passed away due to drug overdose. What? DCFS accused of using girls' inheritance to pay for unnecessary hospital stay. New report shows how many kids on DCFS radar unalive or passed away in the last 18 months. DCFS facilitate 3-year-old downstate boys move in with father, and now the boy is unalive. 5-year-old girl in DCFS care slept in office for nearly a week. It's nothing positive about these people. Nothing. When you Google CPS, DCFS, DFS, it's nothing positive about these people. It's another corrupt system that's preying upon the Latino and a Black community. Like a vampire. They're parasitic. They're taking a life from our community. They're corrupting the kids and getting the kids hooked on these pharmaceuticals. And once you get out of their care and you can't afford or you can't get the pharmaceuticals that they had, that they were providing to you, what these kids turn to now? Crystal methamphetamine, fentanyl, weed, cocaine, heroin, because they need something to help them self-regulate. That's my time, Kim, folks, man. Y'all step and be blessed, man. I want to share this real quick, and this is from Brother Bird. Brother Bird said, that's why every time they put me in them homes, I ran. This is the truth. This is from a play upon of Frank Nitty. For real, my little nephew in the system after my sister passed away in NYC, shaking my head, don't trust the system. We can't. We gotta stand up to the system. We have to. It's absolutely important. But that's my time, man. I appreciate everybody chiming in, macking in on your Kim folks, man. Life is an amazing experience with ups and downs, but through resiliency and being stoic, it ain't too much that we can't navigate through, man. Y'all step and be blessed. Too black, too strong. We all we need. All power to all people. Let's live in peace before we have to rest in it.